Channeling is not just for mediums and people like me who do this as a full-time work. And first of all, we are all born with this. This is our birthright to be able to open our psychic senses. They are there. We just have to open them. We have to believe in them because we've been just told over and over that it's our imagination, that it's not true, that it's crazy. But what channeling can really offer you is to help you with your life every day, to help you find joy, to help you find what makes you happy, to know your spirit guides. These are like your besties.
Good morning, lovely Rachel. Thank you so much for joining us on the Light Dump this morning. Morning for me, afternoon for you.
Yes,
Um,
thank you.
Now, you were once a professional opera singer, and now you draw off your trained voice in mediumship and offering liquid Reiki and liquid Reiki shamanic sound healings. Either, from what I understand. We're going to go into that because I don't quite know what that is. And energy work. You teach how to channel, it seems, how psychic mediumship, light language, and Reiki, and you co-host with light workers on a podcast, which is incredibly generous, may I say, to allow some of your, can I call them students, come through and channel for the first time. And I've never seen anyone do that before. It's a really beautiful
Oh,
offering. Yeah, it's
well,
really
thank you.
lovely.
Well, these are my students that have taken my courses and they need a place to,
Practice.
channel for a larger group. So I kind of help them go from smaller group to larger group to get them used to it.
You
And then
get
I
them
love to
used to it.
show them off and let people find them and go to them and, you know, promote them. I love it. That's part of my mission.
Well, I love that you love that. And it is part of your mission to grow this. But look, for those who are new to channeling, as guidance and a healing tool, would you describe what it is and what it can offer us? Not
Channeling?
just, yeah, channeling, not just channeling for yourself, almost as well.
Yes. Channeling is not just for mediums and people like me who do this as a full-time work. And I think that is where I would love to show people that that's not what it's all for. First of all, we are all born with this. This is our birthright to be able to open our psychic senses. These are more senses that we have. They are there. We just have to open them. We have to believe in them because we've been just told over and over that it's our imagination, that it's not true, that it's crazy. And so it's hard for us to really believe that it's happening, and it feels against the grain of the norm, and it can be uncomfortable. But what channeling can really offer you is to help you with your life every day, to help you find joy, to help you find what makes you happy, to know your spirit guides. These are like your besties. They're all here for you. You have so many. You don't just have one, you have at least five or six that you are born with that are your main guides. And then you can have hundreds more. It depends. You could have even more than that. I channel so many. I have many, many, many. And those that I teach, they have many because we work with so many different uh, spirit guides so that they can, learn more about themselves and learn who can help them with what. And they're so helpful. And so when you get to know your spirit guides and when you get to understand how your channeling works, then you're prepared for anything. And here, as we're going towards ascension, we need to fill the body with light. We need to lighten our whole self, our whole being. That's what ascension is. I'm sure you have a question about that. We can talk about it more later.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as you know, I've got so many, and you're like, oh my goodness, you've got so many. But that's really interesting in the sense that, yes, we are told to fill ourselves with light, and we tend to mind our way, use our mind to do that, and to try and trip ourselves into feeling lighter. But it's an interesting idea that, in fact, you can get help for this by channeling your very dear and loving spirit guides. And I think this is where people also think that channeling is just bring you through people who have passed over,
All right. They
where
do.
it's,
Yes,
yeah, but it's actually, it can be a myriad. And I know you, you bring
yes,
through a myriad
I
of
do.
different entities or spirits, don't you? You know?
I do. And you know what? Channeling is just bringing information through from beyond the veil. It's like if
Mm.
you're asking me a question and I receive it from my clairs in my head, a thought, a vision, even a smell, if I know how to work with that clair, if I receive something and then I tell you about it, now I've channeled it. It doesn't always have to be that being speaking through me through trance. It's that easy. And we have all done that. And that's the thing I hear the most when I teach trance channeling is that people say, you know what? I think I've been doing this a long time. And this is what used to happen to me. People would ask me for advice. And I never knew why because I was such a hot mess. And people would be asking me for advice. I'd be giving them this great advice. And it's almost like an out of body experience where I was like, first of all, why are they asking me? Second of all, where is this coming from? How in the world do I know this? This is great advice. And then later I realized I was just channeling.
Yeah, yeah. I love it, and it's really bringing grounding it, if you like, embodying it in a very everyday way. And some people would say, "Oh, that's just your intuition." Well, perhaps whatever you want to call it, you know.
Yes, that is your
Yeah,
intuition, your imagination. I also believe that your imagination is all kinds of information from your spirit guides. I would say that at least 50, 60, maybe even 70% of what people call imagination is just their psychic clairs. Now, of course, there's fantasy. If you want to use your imagination for manifesting or for fantasizing something, you win the lottery or you have your dream house or whatever, that's great. But isn't that also your spirit guides kind of showing you how to manifest by using, your thoughts and your emotions, which is something we do constantly anyway. But if you do it consciously, then it can
yeah.
help you, law of attraction, all that.
It's like an internal vision board, really, isn't it? In that
Yeah.
sense, yeah.
Put some emotion
Um,
behind it and it really works. Yeah.
yeah. Totally. And when you say trance channeling, as compared to, and I'm going to give it the term conscious channeling, which is what we've just been talking about, what's the difference and do you think you need to learn one to really feel the other or
I would
difference?
liken it to this. You can learn to just regular channel, but if you learn to trance channel, then you will really bring through more through your channeling. It's kind of like it's so much deeper that it increases your regular channeling, which I would call relay channeling because you're relaying the message, or straight channeling or regular channeling. I like that conscious channeling. But the trance channeling, people get worried about trance channeling because they think that they'll get stuck in it or they won't be able to get out of it. But it's actually the opposite. As long as you're really channeling your spirit guides and beings of light, it's so hard to hold them in. They'll be gone in an instant. If your cup falls over, you hear a noise, they'll be instantly out. They're just gone. It was harder to hold them in. The funny thing is that the first time I found out I was a medium and I heard I was supposed to start with mediumship, the first thing I said was, okay, but I'm not going to do that thing like Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost. I was like, I'm not doing that. That's crazy. And that's basically what I'm doing, not with humans. I don't really trans channel humans. I do bring through their messages, but with beings of light, with galactic beings and fae and angels, I channel all kinds of beings.
And actually, I want to talk about that too, because what really struck me when 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 I was watching, there were entities coming through like that, really different ones. Quite each question would be answered by perhaps one, and then the next one by another. And I thought, wow, there.
I know
And you
exactly
would
what you were
say,
watching.
oh, this is whoever coming through now, and this is whoever coming in, this is whatever coming through. And I was like, that's we're up to number 8 or 9 or 10, and I'm thinking, okay, how are you calibrating that within you? And are you not going to blow a gasket? And
Well, what you were watching was a specific masterclass where I was trans channeling a specific group of beings. So
Right.
this is something I have done, 6 to 12 times a year since 2017, because
Okay.
this is my membership. And this is one of the offers that I make for each program, which used to be every month and now is a 2-month program. And so, for instance, right now we're working with elves and with unicorns, and we're working on some healing gifts, ascension grids. We're working on uh, embodying the 5D sovereignty, like all kinds of little
Mm.
things, well, big things, but together. So what happens is they come forward, this group of beings, and they're like, we want to help you and your group with ascension in this way. My group's
Okay.
called Transformation and Ascension. So I'm like, okay, great. And then they're like, we are, and they could be like the elves, the Andromedans, Archangel Sandalphon, like whoever. And so I write it down. Okay, here's who's coming. And then I'm like, who are the elves? And they're like, hi, I'm here. I'm Mebe. Hi, I'm here. I'm so. So I write all their names down. Okay, who are the unicorns, because that's who they told me were coming. Like, oh, I'm Mahatme. Okay. And so I write them all down. And then I do like a focus thing. So I have, here are the people who are coming. Here are the things we're going to cover. And then I just go through it and I just bring one in after another. So just so you know, it's not random.
No, no, that's interesting. And so do you have a sort of a certain time of day that you personally tune in and go, okay, who's coming in? Is there a method
well,
to this? Yeah.
well, for that, that's like a specific thing that I just do
Mm.
every once in a while. So but there is a sort of specific thing about that, which is sometimes I think, well, I'll do this on Friday at 12 o'clock. That's when I have a space in my scheduler and I'll record it. Or nowadays I do it live. So it'll be like,
Mm.
tune in, we'll be doing this live. And they will come. But sometimes they're like, nope, nope, cancel. Everything's going wrong. I'm like, what's happening? And I have to say, you know what? Is today not the day? And they're like, no, today is not the day. They don't always say why, you know, but usually I find out. So this happens with sessions too. So every once in a while, someone can't make their session, or I can't make the session or something. And it's just like, there must be a reason. I know you really needed that session today, but there must be a reason. Then we find out, because we've put it off 4 days. Oh, all this stuff happened. First of all this resolved and all this new stuff happened. And this is way more important. I'm so glad that we have
Yeah.
it now.
Yeah.
So I usually just think spirit has the timing on all that.
Well, it did with us. We was just supposed
Yeah,
to be doing this time last week, weren't we?
that's right.
And we didn't. It's okay. Yeah, I get it. I really do get that, and I'm kind of always okay with that. How does it feel for you? And I think this is probably different for everyone, but how does it physically feel for you when you channel?
So when I trance channel, when they
Hmm.
speak through me, it feels like they are overlaying their body onto mine.
Okay.
And I am taking my consciousness out, but I don't go too far because I'm very nosy. I want to know
I'd be
what they have to
curious.
say.
I'd be
Yeah.
curious. Yeah, yeah.
So, although it's funny because while I'm sort of there, I don't remember it. Afterwards, it fades really quickly. And then I can't remember unless they remind me. Sometimes I remember nothing. And then all of a sudden, it's like they give me back a little, oh, that's right. That's right. That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
So it's interesting.
Okay.
So it feels like that. So like when I'm trans chanting Alpar BM, whom I trans channel the most, he's my partner guide. He's a blue avian galactic being. He's like literally like a blue bird humanoid sort of being. They actually call themselves the Kier, is what they tell me. But we all who know of them call them blue avians, and they can be different colors, but he is blue. So when I channel him, I can feel him in my arms, and he's talking different. He holds his head different. He sometimes my voice sounds a little different.
Hmm.
The interesting thing with trance channeling is when you watch someone do it, you can kind of hear the wave. So really what you're doing is you are taking your vibration and you're aligning it with their vibration so that you are vibrating together. And that's like a way to explain it. And so sometimes when you see a trance channel, you'll see them be like completely like that being. And then, like, sometimes for a minute, they sound like themselves. And then they go back and sound like that being. And then for a second, they sound like
Yes.
themselves.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because it's a wave.
Mm.
And like I said, you really have to kind of hold them in. It takes time to learn how to do a long channel usually because you're holding
Mm.
that space and you're holding that vibration, and it's a very high vibration. So you're really holding yourself, high.
I heard something last week, and I thought, this really resonated with me, that the one thing, if we can learn to channel or be very deeply connected to our higher self, is the best one thing we can do for ourselves right now. Would you agree with that?
Oh, I
And
would.
you would? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
teach that in my third level. It's really great when you can channel your higher self and you get to really know how to do that and can do it often. It's amazing. Well, my higher self tells me all kinds of things. It's very helpful. I mean, this is where it's a lot easier for me to get answers for myself, because one thing you'll learn as a healer or as a channel is that it's so easy to get other people answers, and it's much harder to take your ego out and get your own answers. So I always recommend that you have a partner that you trade, insights with and healing with. And um, with the higher self, it's much easier. I feel like it's interesting. It feels like me, but not me. It's
Right.
like wise me, or like
Sure.
ascended me.
Does it have your voice?
She seems so different than me, honestly. Um, no, I don't think so. She talks differently. She's very calm,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
one. She's not as hyper as I am.
Okay. Yeah. I really sort of feel in these times that we are navigating right now, on Earth I'm talking about,
Yes.
that to have that rudder, if you like, is for want of a better term, to help us through and go within and find it's already there. You've got it all there. And I would encourage people to just do that. Go
Yeah.
go to someone like you, learn how learn how to make that connection.
It's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I
Yeah.
have a meditation for it too in my mentorship membership, my tag membership too. It's it's really nice to meet and ask your higher self questions, but your spirit guides too are very helpful because they're really just other parts of you. So that is why I
Mm.
always start with spirit guides, because they are just the safest way to learn how to channel. Another way to really start with really safe beings to channel are is to start with the Fae. So it's another way that you can learn how to channel.
Oh, it's so adorable. I love the idea of the Fae. And it feels like there hasn't been a lot of discussion over the years about the Fae. Kind of been sidelined, you know?
I know. Well,
Yeah.
they are misaligned a lot. People believe, oh, the Fae are mad at me, or
Oh.
um, they think that the Fae could be mean, and that's not true. The one thing I've really learned about the Fae, I started with the Fae elementals, and we're talking about, fairies, mermaids,
Mm.
dragons, unicorns, things like that.
Mm.
What I learned about them is that they're different than angels because they have an ego. So that means that they don't have to help you. If you want a parking space, you better ask the angels. Please give me a good parking space. And the angels will not be like, what do you need a good parking space for? You're asking too much. Not at all. They'll be like, sure, let's get you a good parking space. If you ask the Fae for a good parking space, they'll be like, here's a lovely spot out here way in the back under this tree. And you're like, but now the walk, it's the farthest way from the door. And they're like, yes, it's a beautiful day for a walk. They are not going to help you so much. They don't have to.
Right.
But I think where people get confused about the Fae is they think they're mean, they're going to hide my keys, they're going to poke at me, they're going to do these things. But the
Oh.
Fae don't really. So there are a lot of negative entities that pretend to be fae, and they do things like that, like poke you and hurt you, and just like any negative entity might do. And not to everyone, but to those who experience that. And the fae themselves do not. Now, they might take your keys. If you're running around acting like being late is going to be the very worst thing that ever happened, and you're so uptight about it and you're like freaking out and acting crazy, then they might take your keys and just be like, look what you're doing to yourself.
Right.
Look what you're doing to yourself, until you're like, you give up and you're like, okay, this is stupid. Maybe I'm just not supposed to go today. And then you
Right.
find out there's a wreck on the interstate, or the person wasn't even there. You could have driven all the way across town and they weren't even there, or
Yeah.
something happened, or perhaps the fae were just trying to teach you, hey, lighten up. You're just late. It's not that big of a deal. So they might do stuff like that. They might take your jewelry because it's not clean, it's not clear, because stones carry energy. They might take it out and clear it and bring it back, and they don't have any kind of idea of time. Their time is not your time. It's 444, as I say that. So, but they're
Okay.
not mean. Now, if you are mean to animals, bad for the environment, if you're just like recklessly wrecking the environment every chance you get, if you're mean to animals, if you're mean to children, then they might not be your friend. But
Interesting. Cute.
mostly they're helpful.
Helpful lessons.
Mhm.
Just might not feel that helpful at the time. We talk about our clear attributes. What are yours? Do you see visions? Do you smell? Do you hear? What is it, or is it all of it?
So I didn't always have them all. I used to just have, well, I thought I just had claircognizance, which is knowing, and
Mm.
maybe clairsentience. Clairsentience is where you feel someone else's feelings. That's like what we call empath, usually, is
Hmm.
the most common thing that people say. And I thought that's really all I had. But one day, someone asked me to make them a meditation to open their clairs, because they had been through something traumatic and they had closed all their clairs. And so I made this channeled meditation for them with the angels to open all their clairs, every single one. And it worked on me. And then I suddenly remembered that when I was a kid, I was clairvoyant. I did see things. I didn't think I was clairvoyant. And I turned it off because, I was teased for it, or it was scary. I was told that I was just, dramatic and making things up. So I stopped. I turned it off. And so I turned it back on. So I do have it all, but sometimes it's confusing. Some of them are easier than others. Like, I don't know why I'm tasting an apple. Is this because the client needs an apple? Is this because the client is allergic to apples? Is the client eating an apple now? Like, what is the purpose of me tasting an apple? Sometimes the taste ones or the smells are a little weird. But yes, what happens now is they're all sort of become one. And I do
Okay.
work a lot on opening my clairs to the fifth dimensional versions and things like that. And I teach that and help others with that. So I have a lot of clairs open, and it's just sort of all one now. It's like I sort of get a picture, words in my head, typed words, heard words, a feeling, their feeling, clarification on that. It's like 10 things at once, but that's only if I were to like slow down time, right? To me, it's just like, here's the message. It comes through me really fast sometimes.
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, 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 I can see that. Having seen watched you work, oh my goodness, it's really fast. But you're very relaxed with it. That brings me to, would you like to at all today bring through
Sure,
any? Oh, that would be so lovely.
of
That would
course.
be wonderful. Thank you.
Anyone in particular? Do you want me to bring through like a Fey being or Alpar being, or do you have a question, or would you
Well,
like
I
to ask
think
questions?
I would love, because simply I haven't, and you have brought through before the whales, and and there I get this feeling that water, I get this feeling that water has become so important to us, the
It really
the
has.
earth, the holding of the water, us really recognizing. how much water we are, and as a channel within us, if you like, to access our our other dimensions through water as
Yes.
well. So I
As
guess,
a channel, that as a channel, you have to drink a lot of water. If you're
yeah,
dehydrated, it will be difficult. A couple of things you have to do to channel is be grounded, be clear, and to be hydrated.
yeah. So my question
Okay.
would be perhaps that what do the whales, dolphins, any of those beautiful beings, what do they want us to do to help ourselves and our earth today?
Okay. Whales are really interesting because to me, they're both galactic, and yet I feel they have an elemental quality to them too.
Mm, mm,
And they're one of those beings that are truly 5D, but we see them and we interact with them in the 3D. Dolphins are another, seahorses,
mm.
um, for some fishy ones.
Yeah.
And the whales have told me that their big journey across the globe, like what that's about, is that they're holding the space and that they're clearing the water and they're clearing 3D energies, and that's why they move great distances. So they're really beautiful, and their songs are so beautiful. So I would love
Mm.
to. I'm trying to see who wants to come through. So here's one. Her name is something like Cintiamo, or we'll just call her Cinti. Let's see what she has to say. I don't know what kind of whale this is because I don't know what they are. I
Mm,
can
mm,
see its mouth. I could probably tell you later if I look it up, but it's very big and gray.
mhm.
I am a great whale, as you would see me from your size and position. And we move in pods together. And we do filter the water energetically. We filter the air, we filter the space, and we do move through great expanses of earth through the water to keep the energies as clear as we can, to assist with those who are humans on earth who are undergoing such a great change. The change of ascension, the change of the nature of this earth, a change in the nature of your body. We see and feel your troubled minds. We are telepathic beings, and we have been on earth a long time. But no, we are not from earth, and many species here are not from earth, but from all over the galaxy, because the earth itself is a great accelerator of growth. There are many ways to describe what I mean. One is the acceleration of the growth of your spirit to experience this incredible life, which is made to teach you so much about yourself in a environment that is so different than the rest of your soul's life. And it is an accelerator of growth physically, of beings, of plants and animals, of all types of microscopic elements as well. It is a place of growth in every way. In our days, we are large beings. And though we are very intelligent, our perception of time is much slower than yours. However, it is mostly because we are in a state of oneness. We live in a state of nature. And you live in a state of de-nature. You live in a state of busyness and of technology. And you have trained your minds to think so quickly. When we tune into the noise of the thoughts of the third dimensional beings of humans, it is a cacophony of noise. We ask you to go to a place like the beach or the mountain or the forest or the river or even the back of your subdivision, any place where you can take a moment of silence and empty your brain and connect once again more naturally with this earth. We see that you do this very seldom. It is a vacation. Yet this must be more of your everyday life. But we do not blame you, and this is not a judgment. This is only to remind you that most of what you spin your mind wheels on is not truth. It is too much for the body. And you are being called to come into a better rhythm of nature and to find a more simple way of living. And you will, as that is part of ascension, that is part of this beautiful journey. I would love to bring a healing for you, and I will.
Thank you.
To help you find this peace within yourself.
How beautiful.
That's so relaxing.
Oh my gosh, dreamy, right? Watery,
Whales are.
dreamy,
They are so
beautiful.
dreamy. And I could just see the whole pot. I could hear the other voices. And she had a young one with her.
Oh, how beautiful.
Yeah,
Your
they're
voice is
incredible.
very beautiful.
Thank you.
And I guess that your training came into its own, really, with bringing through, I'm going to call it light language. Am I right in calling it light language? Yeah.
It is. It's light language. I really call what I do liquid Reiki, shamanic healing, or liquid Reiki sound healing, depending on the depth of it. And it's light language and it's channeled, trance channeled healing and Reiki kind of all together. It's everything. And that's one thing we haven't talked about yet is that I just really believe that those who channel should learn how to channel healing as well. And, Reiki healing, light language, all of that is channeled healing. And so channeling isn't just bringing forward a message, it can be bringing forward healing, which is
Mm,
something that I really believe in. But they
mm.
go together.
They do go together, and they go together really beautifully. And I
Mm-hmm.
guess in the case of the our beautiful whale, Senti, shall we call her there,
Mm-hmm.
um, she's able to come through you in a really multidimensional way through your voice. So if we can all do this, we can be more multidimensional, right?
That's right. That is what I think multidimensional is. It's working in this higher dimension. It's working with when you work with these beings, they teach you how to do this work in in higher dimensions, like working on a higher version of the
Mm,
chakra, opening higher versions of the chakra. It's actually something that I do teach in my advanced classes, uh, master dimensional channeling. It's learning to heal like in this very advanced way. I think it's needed in this time.
yeah, I know. And I don't know if we have still have any time, but I know you've been talking about lately protection being a really big deal at the moment, you
I
know.
think protection is always very important, especially in the beginning of your journey and in the middle, and sometimes in the advanced.
Mm,
You need protection until you don't. And sometimes, like in this time, there's so much going on that protection is really helpful. And it's also security. I know I've done
mm,
my sacred circle, I know I've done my protection work. And so I know that I'm free to call in my guides and trans channel them and bring them through or bring through this whale I've never met before because I know I'm in a very safe and protected place. And I know that I only work with beings of the light. I say that
mm.
I only work with beings of the light, but I know it's true because I have done this protection. So it's also kind of like insurance, you know?
Sure. Sure. And the word you used there a lot was knowing. And I think when we know, we know. There's no question there. And to get to that point of knowing is a place of security in a sense.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I know I'm conscious we're gonna run out of time.
I
So
yes, I do actually do have to go.
yeah, but where can people find you? I will put all your
Thank you.
contacts and links to it in the story notes. But where can we
Sure.
find you? And can I ask you to come back at some point?
I would love to.
Yeah,
Definitely. I'd love to talk to you more.
yeah.
Well, I'm Rachel Jamness. I'm at Sound Waves Heal. So soundwavesheal.com. And of course, my YouTube channel has so much in it. I'm on school. I have a group in school at Sound Waves Heal, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram.
You're out.
You'll
You're
find
out
me.
there. You're out there.
Yes, I have my own Fae Oracle deck. You can find that in the United States on Amazon or on my website if you're outside
Yeah.
and
And for
things like
those of
that.
us in New Zealand, we've got this really cool thing with the New Zealand Post that they will send to a space in Portland, Oregon, and then forward to us. So if you
Oh,
don't do
terrific.
international, yeah, yeah, we've
Well, that would
figured it
work.
out. We're at the bottom of the world, but we've figured it out.
Well, that's great. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for having me on. It's lovely to talk to you. I'd love to another
Ah,
time.
I love that. I love it. I think there's sort of going to be lots to discuss in the near future as things come up, and I'd love to have you
Okay.
back, Rachel. That was really beautiful, and thank you, Senti, for coming through and giving
She
us
was
that
great.
beautiful healing. That is
Yeah,
gorgeous. Okay, take care and
you
see you
too.
soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.